Yo, it's always nice to see you. Always nice to see you, Azalea. Beer and Tunes, hello, hello. It is always nice to see you guys. Final boss? I was just final boss? You were just final boss? How'd it go? You're crying, so I'm guessing not well. Happy birthday, Dad. Thank you, Filter for Hope. It's not my birthday. Do I do this now? Probably not. Finally, a good-ass HS stream? Oh my god, that shit was so funny. Copper Scum is fucking hysterical.
I raise, you fold.
I guess we do this. Huh. I climbed from D1 to D1 2 stars? Hell yeah, Azalea. Wait, are you you were streaming it? Are you done or are you still there? You're still going.
You fold.
You're done? Oh. Just for your mental health, you're like, no, I'm done after this. I didn't know if you were 20 minutes away or an hour and 20 away. Oh, that's all good. Oh, no, it's all good. Don't even worry about that. I appreciate you even thinking of me. I appreciate you even thinking of me. I don't sweat that shit at all.
You fold.
I think we do this. We might already be dead. We might already be dead. Nah, we can kind of be okay. We can kind of be okay. Okay, let me finish freezing Domjot's board. What's going on, Tom? Wow, yeah, I stayed to watch that actually caught your stream. Isn't that kind of like a disparage kind of moment that you're like, oh, fuck, I'm still awake? Am I like the harbinger of something even more terrible? All right. I want to get this, or I want to get this. I think I take the assail. I think I take the assail. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we do. Then you'll tell me to eat shit, and eventually I'll go to sleep. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dude, my fucking ads are always fucked up. Here we go. My ads are always fucked up these days. I have no idea when my first ad break starts. These douchebags fucked it up. What ads? Good point. All right, I think if we get the good minion off of Nightshade Bud, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got like a little better than a 50-50. What's going on, Marcus? Hey, hot minute. I haven't seen you. I feel like hot minute. I haven't seen you. I feel like it's been a while. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're hanging out with us. Ooh, wait. This just ends it, right? This always ends it? Literally? Literally always ends it. He says confidently when it doesn't always fucking end it at all whatsoever. Chat, that was unreasonably risky. It's actually unreal how risky that was. But I think we win. Can you believe it's Tuesday? I can, because I looked at a calendar and it said, hi, Schmoopy Daddy. Today is Tuesday. You're a better player than me. That's how I lost last week at THL. People still use calendars, apparently. Welcome to the Shmoopy Daddy guide experience. I am your host, as per usual, Shmoopy Daddy. In case the first time you're watching one of these guides, my monthly Hearthstone Wild Legend who typically hits Legend first of the month, and after that I goof off. And when I goof off, I play your decks, but I'm not doing that right now. Tonight, I'm going to learn how to play a deck that I know and love very much from a player who is better than me, one Cult, aka kvlt. I learned his name is kvlt, and I'm refusing to deviate. So, Colt, you want to explain who you are and introduce yourself to the people who are watching the video?
Yeah, I stream Wild Hearthstone sometimes, and I sometimes win games. And when I do win games, then my number goes up, and that's pretty much it.
KVLT is a multiple time rank one Wild Legend streamer. He's done it on stream. He's done it. You've done it with this deck, right?
This is the deck that I finished rank one with. I've only finished rank one once, and this is the deck I did it with.
So, like,
Pretty much the same list, except the one card.
you're just about like the best person to have on here when we're talking about this deck. It's not OT's. God damn it! All right. Ever since poor Filterphobe got confused for Corbett, while he was explaining that he wasn't Corbett, people are. It's just going to be a running joke in my chat from now on that like people are misidentifying people in my in the community as it happens. Regardless, okay, this is really special for me, KVLT. I'm nerding out a little bit because I've told chat this. I think I'm one of the first people on NA to actually play something even close to this list because I saw the famous I saw that famous Chinese tweet that was just like, hey, this guy's on rank 2. We don't know the whole list, but here's like most of the cards. And I played it a bunch and I loved it. And what I love about it was the fact that it looks so linear on paper and then you sit down to play it and it's way more complicated than that. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember you being one of the first people to say like that this deck was cool. You were one of the first people to recommend to play it, actually. I don't think everyone else was kind of writing it off as kind of like a Barnes-esque deck because I think that initially on paper it looks like you're just meant to ramp and then drop Dungar, win the game, right?
Right.
But I think after playing it, like there's a lot more lines than that, and you got to be aware of a lot of things before you actually go in because sometimes it like just drawing Dungar doesn't necessarily mean you just win the game. Like you have to have other things in combination and make sure that you have to sometimes gamble, but a lot of times you can just make sure that you're going to combo rather than have to gamble on comboing.
So it's funny. We just played like one game, just sort of warming up, and I did like a little gamble where like I absolutely needed A&R off of Dungar. I already had Ysayle in hand, and I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna jam the Dungar because I got it, and let's see if I get it. But like there are scenarios where it's just like you did not need to do that. It's like risky.
Yeah,
I did in that scenario, but like you don't just jam Dungar because that doesn't mean that you're gonna win.
So this deck has a lot of little gambles in it because like it's a gamble not to play Dungar sometimes too, right? Like so you have to either decide, well, I can go in this turn, and if I get it, then I win, right?
Right.
Or I can make sure I get something else, like maybe I have to draw a bud, or I need to ramp a little bit more, so I can play Dungar more safely. But then it gives the opponent a chance to advance their game plan, right? So you gotta have to try to weigh those options. That's kind of the options you weigh every turn, I find, with this deck.
Perfect. So let's start with the flex spots. I know there's some like really like there's one spot right now that's like completely up in the air that I think is fascinating to talk about. Let's save the overgrowth slot for a second. Can you please sell me on trail mix? I am pro trail mix, but let's convert more people. Why are you so pro trail mix?
Well, actually, I think Maxi was talking to me about this deck a little bit when I was first starting to play it, and he described this deck as imagine every ramp card in this deck is like a coin. Basically, like you want to coin in order to have enough mana to play your combo, right?
Yep.
Trail Mix is like old Overgrowth that just gave you two, like it basically preloads those 2 mana crystals, and you have more mana to go in on subsequent turn. I actually think one of the best things about Trail Mix is that you just can play it on 2 so often, and then you can play your Nourish, you can play your Guff, and it just really fills your curve a lot better. I even Trail Mix sometimes to be able to play like an Overflow, and then you can Overflow the next turn, and then you can ramp afterwards, even though it kind of seems counterintuitive to have more mana and then go down to less mana the next turn. Like, it's sometimes better to get that card advantage because then you will draw those ramp cards. So I think Trail Mix really kind of helps you fill out your curve, and more importantly, because like even though it's like a druid deck, you don't really want to float mana with this deck. You want to be able to spend your mana every turn. So Trail Mix is sometimes nice to be able to. It's not a huge mana investment, but then the payoff in the subsequent turns is worth it a lot of times. I find like even like getting the Trail Mix into like a sleep. Because if your hand's kind of dead, but you have a like one card that draws you cards, you want to be able to gather more resources in order to go off. And then that's not to mention like Solar Trail Mix is like sometimes you can just Solar Trail Mix.
You were
And you
saying
just kill
Solar
the
Trail
opponent
Mix
on
like
turn
ends the
5.
game sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so what you project that you're going to kill them the next turn. Like, it's whatever, right? Like they still have to be able to do something about it, right? Sometimes they just can't do anything about it. And they just die. So.
That's amazing. I'm just noticing this too. It's worth noting how many times this deck has been nerfed. Dungar's been hit. Sleep Under the Stars is more expensive.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards in here that's been nerfed at some capacity, I think. But like even like I guess Guff's been nerfed, but Guff's still broken. But like it's kind of interesting. Like I think this deck has a lot of cards that have been nerfed in a way that like good nerfs, right?
Right.
Because they're I think the only card like there's a couple cards in here that people hate. Like people hate Ysael. Um, people hate I don't know what else people really hate. I mean Bio, I guess, is probably one of the more powerful ones, but like everything else in this deck, at least for a wild standpoint, is feels fairly balanced.
Yeah.
Like Sleep obviously is a very good card, but I just it has a I don't know. This deck just feels like the ultimate druid deck, right? It has a bunch of big dumb legendaries, and it has all the ramp, right?
It's so
It's like
classic. It's got Aviana. It's got Malygos. Like
yeah,
people have a lot of nostalgia for Malygos Druid. I know like
it's
Tom's
a very
played
flavorful deck.
Tom's played a billion games of like a very different like Aviana Coon, Malygos Druid deck, right? But like he's not alone in people that have people that have that kind of nostalgia for that. Oh my God, May, thank you for the insane numbers of of gifted subs right now.
Oh,
I can't
thanks.
read everyone out right now because we're in the middle of a guide. But thank you so much, May. I will get back to it. Oops, misclicked. Thank you, May. Appreciate you.
May wants the attention.
Okay. All right. Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about this last overgrowth. What did this used to be?
This is a meter cell, which I think a meter cell is actually really cool. Like I think I want to try meter cell 5. I really liked it at 4. Initially, like a lot of people just were very resistant to put in the deck. I think it took a lot of convincing for people to actually want to try that card. Even though it
Boards
came with the mini set, I found
worth noting. Board space is kind of a premium with this deck, right? Like you can run
it
out of
is.
space to play your stuff, and a Mirdrasil is taking up functionally 2 spaces.
It's
Order
occasionally an
aside,
issue.
right? Just on the face of it.
Yeah, it's occasionally an issue, but I liked it because, especially with Dungar at 10, it gave you another way to get over 10 mana, basically, like essentially. Like it's another way to make you pop up earlier. I honestly think I kind of want to try it still, because
We could do it tonight if you
even
want.
at 5, maybe we could try it tonight if you want. I'm just not. It just seems like you're competing for like a lot of slots, right? Like at 5 mana, you usually want to be doing something pretty powerful. Maybe a meter cell is powerful enough. I'm not sure.
I don't mind. I'll be
Um,
the experiment tonight. So you
so
were trying
yeah, we can
overgrowth.
try it. Overgrowth is fine. I think it's a fine card. It's not my favorite. before because it's like a little awkward with the mana cost, but it's nice when you're going first. I find it's really good when you're going first that you can just wild growth and overgrowth, right? But like going second, it gets a little bit weird because like you end up with overgrowth and nourish in your hand, and then if you draw like a 2 mana ramp, then you don't really want to play your
Yeah,
overgrowth, right? You
it
want to be
just
able to
sort of dies.
you want to coin your nourish and play
Yeah,
invigorate,
it misses its
right?
moment.
Because it does, yeah. So I find it a little awkward to use, and Innervate has the same issue of it. On paper, it feels good because you can coin out a thing, but like a lot of times it just kind of sits there and it wouldn't have really changed the game, right?
It
But it's nice because you
feels.
can dump it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it feels super bad once your sail is down. Like your sail is down, Vate's
Yeah,
like ugh. Like you just play it. It's like not a big deal, but
you
at the
can
same
play
time,
it.
it's like you
It's not a
gain
big
no advantage
deal.
from it. Yeah.
I do like it because it like doesn't make you lose any mana, right? When you're and sometimes you have to like dump spells. Like a lot
Hmm.
of times I'm like dumping trail mixes, I'm dumping invigorates. I'm careful not to play my wild growth so I don't fill my hand again because then because you want to be able to play like your UI or your overflow or some kind of card draw, and you want to be able to have hand space in order to play that, right?
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think invigorates innovates fine, but I don't know if it's a good reason to actually run it in your deck, right?
Right.
So
Um. Okay. The Shattered Reflections is like
yeah,
that's like card
this is
38, right? Like reasonably.
yeah. The more I play with it, the more I've actually kind of liked it. I think it's decent. It's very good with ENR. Obviously, it's good with Malygos. I actually find I use it on Malygos quite a bit, especially against like hostage mage or something like that,
Sure.
right? Like especially like or Reno deck, like something like that. Like I guess most Reno decks you just kill, but like against hostage mage specifically or mage Reno mage, it's nice to be able to take another Malygos and then be able to still kill them if they're clear your board while stalling, right? So,
That is
but most of the time it's going to be on ENR.
that is something we're gonna have to unpack at some point. Maybe when we're playing. You really enjoy playing
Mm-hmm.
against hostage mage with this deck. You don't run any tech for the matchup. You have a set game plan when you go in. I would love to break that down a little bit later. Um, One last card I do have to talk about not being in the list. Convince me why New Heights is bad.
I wouldn't say it's bad per se.
Okay.
It's just not. It's the same problem as Overgrowth,
Okay.
where there's never a good turn to play it. And I don't think like in going over 10, you think it would matter more. Like when I first did the nerf to Dungar, I thought that thought you might want to run two of them even because I was like, oh, you want to get over 10 mana, right? It makes sense
Right.
to put in your deck. But in practice, it there's just never a good time to cast it. It always feels bad. It's always feels very slow to cast because it's a 3 mana wild growth, right?
All right.
Which you do relatively often with gift. But by running that, you have all of a sudden you have 6 copies of wild growth, even though gift is a little bit more flexible. Like there's, I mean, well, 8 copies kind of, right? You have a ton of, and your hand is just full of these useless ass 2 mana ramp cards, which is good early, but the use of it falls off later in the game.
Yeah, it makes
And it
sense.
being 3 mana especially is annoying because like going first, right? What do? You bio and then you like if you draw bio and then you have the new heights, it's like what do? You have to wait till turn 2 to play it. And that always feels bad to me. And then
You
you're
just want your
ramping
mana now.
for
Yeah.
yeah, I want the mana now. I want to just do it into wild growth. Um, and then a lot of times like you end up drawing something that's better, right? Because then you play the nourish and then you can't play the new heights with the nourish when you're on
Right. It
five
doesn't
mana,
fit.
right?
Mm-hmm. But you can with
It
trail mix.
just it
Right. Okay.
yeah,
I
you
see
can't
it.
with
I
trail
see
mix
it. I'm
exactly.
starting to
Like
see
there's
it.
a lot. I find like it's hard. I find it hard to weave into my turns. That's the hardest part about it. It just feels like I'm always floating mana when I'm playing it. It doesn't ever feel like I can combo with other cards to spend my mana efficiently.
All right. So it's basically like a machinations of the deck issue. It doesn't fit in your curves.
Hmm.
The weirdest one of those I've actually ever had was playing like standard weapon rogue and feeling like harmonic hip hop was garbage, and it was so funny, and it was because on one you were always like tutoring your 3/3 because it was the only minion in your deck, so you played the spell that like draw pirate, get a coin. And then you were equipping your pick if you had your pick, or you were playing hero power, and then you were playing your sword shiner, so that you all of a sudden your weapon's a 3/3, whether it's a pick or your dagger. And like harmonic hip hop is always on the shitty hip hop. Like it was never like you were playing it like maybe turn 4, like you were lucky if you could prep it turn 2. So it's funny how like sometimes good cards just don't find a way to like be playable in a list just from how the turns naturally play out. And like, okay, so that makes a lot of sense with New Heights.
And ultimately, it's a warrior card, right?
No, that's true. No, it is. It's true. Like, I think the best part about Perils in Paradise is they allowed warrior to play not warrior cards. And gave them they gave them one of the most busted. I know Sleep Under the Stars is so broken. They gave them Sleep Under the Stars, which was broken at
which
7.
is a good card just to cast for 8 mana. Yeah,
it's like it's
still good.
now.
It feels fine to cast for 8. Like even in this deck where you play it for 1 a lot, like it doesn't feel bad to play it for 8 a lot of times. So
and then New Heights is just like, hey, like you take like bad like nerfed over wild growth in basically every other class, and it also has the added benefit of putting you over 10 mana, so like you're kind of okay with that too. So
the thing is, it's just the bottom line is Druid just has a lot of good ramp cards, right? And New Heights is just not as good as the other ramp cards you're playing, right? Like compared to like Bio is an insane card. I think it's probably the best card in the deck. I think it really enables a lot of the early kills you get. Like I've killed Sparrowclaw on turn 3, full combo, using bios.
That makes sense, and it feels that as somebody who's played more Barnes than Malygos probably at this point. Although I think Malygos is probably I've probably played more Barnes than Malygos. Biology Project seems like the most busted card in the deck, honestly, if you want to try and like win early. To your point, like same kind of deal. Like, it's just like you just set it up, and it's like, okay, we go next turn, we're good to go, or from here on after.
I mean, there's always a lot of wild decks have like the high roll,
Yeah.
Like Shadow Priest had like you used to have the turn 1 Void Touch, right? And that would just snowball and win instantly. Bio feels similar to that in this deck, which is kind of it feels like the early high roll snowball that just instantly wins the game. So I think that's like the main card that they're never going to nerf, but if they actually want to balance wild, that's the card they should hit, because the rest I think is relatively inoffensive.
It makes sense, and it's funny because it didn't see a lot of like play for a long time, right? Like it was kind of like
solar bio,
give the other person mana.
Yeah, but you don't care because it's all about against aggro, like it matters more about how many minions they have on the board, and everything. Every card in Wild is free anyway, so who cares about getting mana, right? So
worth noting too, a Disco uniquely seems less able to leverage the extra mana than other aggro cards. I feel like if you give Shadow Priest too much mana, sometimes they can kind of leverage that and get a wide board and then hit you with a Void Touch, right? Like, and if you don't have the swipe, you're kind of screwed. Like, Disco is like, again, sort of looking at the machinations of turns, they can't quite leverage the extra mana as efficiently as maybe some other aggro decks could have in the past. I've heard.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I never really care about giving...
You're giving everybody mana regardless. You're like, fuck it.
The only deck that really sucks to give mana is Holy Wrath. I think that's the deck that feels the most risky to give mana. Even Mage doesn't feel that risky because Mage needs to kind of gather the resources anyway, right?
They have to draw some.
Which is actually, I thought, they have to draw a lot to get to their stuff.
Yeah.
And it's also funny. Sometimes you can mess them up by bioing them, and then they can't get their volume up out perfectly and finale'd. So
okay, that's cute.
Okay,
that's cute. We'll file that under cute tricks and stuff. All right, so quick
cute
little
tricks.
TLDR as far as like deck building goes. This Amirdrasil slot could be Amirdrasil, could be Overgrowth, could be Vaked. We're really not sure what the best option is there yet. That's card number 40. New Heights just doesn't seem to fit into the curve of the deck when you're playing it. There never seems to be a good turn to play it, which is why we haven't included it. And Trail Mix enables a lot of really nutty early turn pop-offs, as well as like you can play it alongside something like Nourish to help facilitate a pop-off, the turn after you Nourish. So that I think that's a good TLDR. Did I miss any details there?
Pretty much it. I mean, I think there's some like intricacies. I guess we can go over. You wanted to go over like Mulligan stuff and stuff next, right?
Yeah, we'll do Mulligan stuff. Yeah.
Plan.
Yeah. So let's move to basic Mulligan. You've got you popped onto Discord. Somebody asked for your MALYGOS list, and you don't have time to give them like a full response on how exactly you're going to, how they should mulligan every situation. What's the most basic bitch mulligan to that? You're just starting out. These are the cards you look for.
I think the worst problem with this deck, I think, is that I think the mulligan decision changes based upon what cards you're presented with.
Oh no!
Like when you see the mulligan, I think you mulligan differently depending on what your hand is and what deck you're playing against. So that's on its basic though. I think usually, pretty much always, you want to keep bio. I think bio is just the best card. Like I talked about before, it's broken. Usually, always keep 2-mana ramp. I don't usually keep 2 copies of 2-mana ramp. I usually just have 1 copy because I find it's awkward if you keep 2 copies. Sometimes I'll keep 2 copies if I have a Nourish and I'm on the coin. I can wild growth into coin Nourish into invigorate.
Okay.
Or something like that. That's a good play. I keep swipe used to be a lot higher priority to keep when Pirate DH and Aggro Priest were around. I think it's lower now. There's not as many decks that succumb to swipe. Even Disco Lock, you probably want to keep a swipe, but Disco Lock boards are really hard to swipe away.
What's the one thing we're removing with swipe? Or we're maybe killing a Tiny Knight and maybe cleaning up some 2-1s, but otherwise you're maybe are you really swiping a Malk Imp? Maybe? I'm not saying no, but it doesn't feel critical, right?
Yeah, Tiny Knight's pretty much the only thing you care about. That's the card you have to remove so you don't die. Other than that, though, most of the time the Disco Lock boards are too sticky, and you really have to solar swipe them to remove them, or you need 2 swipes. And a lot of times you can just outrace them. I find that's the best thing to do. Is they take a little bit longer to set up than Pirate DH did, so it's less about removing. It's more about ramping quickly and killing them, because a lot of times you can just out heal them, right?
Yeah.
You can ramp, and then you can just Reno with the pendant, and then you kill them. So
you're at this point we're sort of caring about ramp. Let's ramp. Let's get our mana so that we can make decisions and we can play our cards and we can win the game.
Yeah, and it depends on what your hand tells you to do. Sometimes you don't have enough ramp where you can ramp fast, and you have to control them, right? Because think about, swiping is technically it's equivalent to playing wild growth, right? You're removing something, you're buying yourself a turn. Basically, if you can buy yourself a turn by removing it, then you should remove it. You just kind of got to leverage around how many turns. I always have in my mind, how many turns until I can win. And by playing this, will this shorten the amount of time I can win? Will this buy me a turn? What am I doing next? because you really got to plan out your turns with this deck to try to make sure you can go off as early as possible and survive, right?
Yep.
Because sometimes you're a control deck. If you have nothing, you just control them, which is where Shattered really gets good.
I was going to say, then you're just sort of making copies of a Titan that can heal you to full and also makes tempo and they can't get through this.
I mean, you can beat Shadow Priest by copying their own lifesteal guy.
Oh, that's gross. That's gross.
Of their stuff. So I've beat Shadow Priest like that before. So,
all right, more specific mulligans. Are there any other You see a
Solar
matchup, and this is
is a
what you do.
sneaky
You see
one.
a matchup, this is what you do.
Solar is a sneaky one. Solar with bio or solar with trail mix. Sometimes I keep solar trail mix probably only on the coin. Trail mix, I've actually experimented with keeping more often. I've solo kept trail mix before and been rewarded for it because you just keep it, and if you draw your guff or your nourish, you just play it on two, and you like it's a game-winning play, right?
Yeah. I keep trail mix in Astral Communion, and you're supposed to only really keep Astral Communion, right? But I there's something I
Yeah.
love about coin trail mix into Astral on two, especially when you coin it out and you say, all right, well I've got Aquatic in my hand and I can just sort of find it because it's bottom two. I don't know. I think trail mix is kind of slept on, but it is a card you kind of have to game plan for, and have to have a plan for how you're going to use it. You can't just sort of just rip it and not know what you're doing next turn, which is maybe why people don't like it as much, because like you can't just like mindlessly jam it.
Yeah. I used to keep a meter still every time too, like for the most part, except if it's a deck that, you had to be super fast on, or like it's better into aggro, right? The meter cell. I'm not really sure where meter cell is now. I mean, it makes keeping trail mix better now, right? If you have a
Yeah,
meter, yeah, if you run a meter cell, because you play that and play a meter cell, which seems like a pretty good play.
that's one of your turn five plays. Sure. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Any other specialized mulligans you think, as far as like I see this matchup, this is what I
Um,
keep? It sounds like in a way
I
you're like, well, it
always,
depends on what you get, but a lot of it's more like your game plan and less dependent on what the opponent's doing. It's more of like
yeah, it's more your game plan.
yeah.
Bud is good into mage for sure. I always keep Bud against mage
Okay.
because it gets around objection. It's your best answered objection. You don't even have to trigger the objection until you against mage. You usually don't trigger the objection until you trigger the objection the same turn you're killing them basically, or pop their block depending what they have up. Because it's pretty easy to just Bud, renathal, or drop another minion you don't care about, and then or you just solar budding. You never even trigger the objection at all, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would always pretty much always keep Dungar too. It's a good card to keep as well.
Cool. Remember when I was
Yes.
like, all right, now hear me out. Do we ever keep the renathal, because then we don't pull it with Dungar? I was cooking
Hmm.
something. It wasn't good. It wasn't.
I think you were talking about like tempoing Renathal as like a
Yeah, I was like,
control
no,
thing
I
against
keep it in the
aggro.
mull so that pendant always gets something good and it doesn't get pulled by renathal. It was like
Hmm.
it's like I'm sure there's certain hands you keep renathal. No, I don't think that's ever correct.
Renathal is probably the the best as just objection fodder, to be honest.
It's
Like a
true.
Okani
Oh,
fodder.
so you might keep
Like
it against
it's
mage. You
actually
might be like, well,
I don't keep it against mage, but I will take it off pendant. I very often take it off pendant
yeah.
because it's good into Okani. Like like if you look at the deck, you know there's really cheap things to throw into it. So it's pretty much all you have, right?
I like it. I like it. All right. All right. Any other okay? So I'm sure you've got a million of these, and it might be impossible to go through all of them because, like I said, this deck is not super linear. You do have to kind of grind out your way to win sometimes, and you can kind of get there in an imperfect way. Any tips or tricks that you think are helpful that you think maybe the average player might not pick up right away, but would be super helpful?
Um, as for there's like a couple like different skills with the deck. The first is like playing out your turns and ramping effectively.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure to spend all your mana. Like, I think a lot of times people don't spend all their mana. That's like a general Hearthstone thing. Pretty much every deck wants to spend their mana every turn. It's good. That's tempo, right?
Yep.
This deck has this deck's tempo is ramping. Even though it's on the board, it's still tempo, I think, to ramp stuff. So like tempoing out trail mix and stuff like that, and not greeting certain things. It's good to go. Second thing is like you want to be able to try to plan your swipes and stuff. Like against aggro is very important, to not die. You want to play around the aggro, like Hosen, for example. It's not really as relevant now. Like I played a lot of this deck when Pirate DH and Shadow Priest were more relevant. I feel like I could speak about them, but it doesn't really feel as
Feels less relevant
applicable
now
now.
because they're not common
Yeah,
targets. Yeah.
you rarely run into them now. Yeah, so
Well, I will say
and I haven't played as much of this deck since the expansion,
that
or
to
since
your
the
point.
yeah.
Ramping does seem super important because you never really know. You might not. It might not look like it on paper, but you might like just sort of ramp yourself into lethal because there are so many ways to eventually get the proper combo pieces down that all of a sudden you have enough mana, you have enough burn, and you just win.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's what.
Well,
we're
and the
kind of
third thing
working
is like
towards.
the actual combo turn. I think the combo turn's like it's a lot to explain. I don't
I
really
don't
know how
think
to
no. I
explain
don't think
all
we.
of it, but
I don't think we really do. Like I think I know what
mhm.
I'm usually looking for. Is I'm looking for some sort of like
Yeah.
Nightshade Bud scam where you can, play a 1 mana Dungar with Aviana, or you're trying to get Ysayle and then now your Sleep Under the Stars is 1 and you can get, all your mana and maybe you use Solar
Mhm.
Bud. Like I like there are a lot of ways to get there, and I don't necessarily think that's what I'm looking for in this little
It,
section. I'm looking for
it,
just like, hey,
mhm.
like what is something sneaky that might be good in this meta? That's worth
No,
knowing.
I mean you can usually play around tech. I
Mm.
would say like tech is probably very relevant. I think this deck is very good into tech cards because you can, depending on the deck, you can play around it. Like, don't take Malygos. Don't put Malygos in your hand where it can get to you and stuff. Try to hide it in your deck for as long as
That's like the
possible.
most important one, right? You can
Um,
kind of lose anything else and kind of be okay, except for
Ysayle,
yeah.
usually I try not to use Ysayle or Mally, to some degree, but usually Ysayle and Mally are the most important. Like, I don't give a shit about like Aviana or Dungar. Like, those are the least relevant ones. Usually, you can get there without them. Like, if you get off all your minions, it's annoying to lose Aviana, but a lot of times you can lose most of them. Like, yeah, you can win without Ysayle too, like very easily
You
if you have the other
can.
pieces. Like, because
It's
you
not
just
fun, but
refresh
you
and you just
can.
kill them with all your mana. So,
It's not fun,
I
but
mean,
you
yeah,
can. It's stressful.
you can. Yeah, I mean,
All right. Well,
so.
if you don't have anything for like, if we don't want to elaborate too further, get too hairy on the weeds of like the actual combo, if you want to do a couple games, and
Yeah, we can do that.
perfect. All right. So I'll be your
Well,
test dummy. We'll try Mirdrasil as that 40th card, even though it's nerfed, but it might still be okay. Worth noting.
be okay. It does make the deck a little harder to play, I think, just because you have to manage your board space a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But and UI is the only card that can clear your own board, which is kind of funny.
Oh, that is funny, but like it doesn't really clear your own board because you just replace that board space. Oh, but you don't if it's full.
No,
Got it.
if it's full, it doesn't because you just shoot your thing and then
You have to wait until you're
you get to
board
play a
locked
guy,
and then you shoot your thing.
and then we're guaranteed basically everything
Solar
because we have
Bud,
four
and we're
minions in deck.
getting ANR and Ysayle, and we win.
Oh, we're not doing that. We're taking Aviana
Oh, we're taking
and
Avionic, right?
whatever
Because we got to
other
get
minion.
these guys down. Okay.
Exactly. And we have a guaranteed get it because there's four minions in deck and we're looking twice. So the first time we might miss, but the second time we're guaranteed. Yeah, so just make sure to coin so you don't look dumb and have the
Okay, we're
minus
picking
one mana.
ANR. We're picking Ysayle, and you said
Aviana.
Shatter the ANR?
No, you were
Oh, I
definitely
fucked
meant
up.
to take
Okay, that's fine.
Aviana.
It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I
Because
scuffed the draw. All right, can we win this?
well,
It's a lot of
no.
health that we have to chunk through, and we do not
you
have.
have no way of winning
I have
this
no
at
way
this
of
point.
winning.
You have
Cool.
no
All right,
burn.
cool. So there's two.
I don't even think you have enough physical damage in the deck to do that.
That's going to be a really fun edit to do because you're going to be like, okay, yeah, no, we take Aviana and we take ANR,
I went
right?
over it
And you're
3 times.
gonna tell me that, and then I'm gonna like hard cut to not doing that and just like fucking pissing it and just being like, yeah.
Are you guessing Reno Priest? I'm feeling Reno Priest, right?
I'm feeling Reno Priest. I feel like Yingling Sama is one that I like. It's a common enough name that it could be Reno or aggro, but I feel them there that they're Reno more often than aggro.
You don't think they're Nazmani, though. That's the only thing that really matters here.
I don't think they're Nazmani, no.
Okay. I think I'd just keep Dungar and toss the other two.
That's interesting.
It's kind of close,
Yeah.
but
They kept
I
3
think I like
cards
just
just a little
keeping it. The reason I want to keep Bud is because you want ramp, right?
Right.
Imagine you kept Bud here, and then what would your hand be?
Right. No, if you keep Bud, you have nothing going on. So let's hope that Renathal triggers.
No.
Renathal did not trigger.
Oh. Does Pendant do enough? I think Pendant's actually a way to prevent them from winning too. That is not quite enough, is it? No, you're dead. The swipe came way too late. We needed this like 2 turns ago.
All right. That one where
I mean,
we
you
lost
just-
in the mulligan, not thinking it's aggro.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, aggro is pretty difficult. I think aggro is pretty challenging, and you have to know you're playing against aggro.
Well,
I
and
think.
that's it's worth noting that like Disco is not a great matchup. Like you can win it, but it's not.
Yeah, but at least you know when you see a warlock turn. I guess there's a lot of warlock decks, but your matchup against the other warlock decks is so favored that you always mulligan for aggro. I would just keep nourish and toss everything else. It's warrior.
So we're like ramping to nourish. And ideally.
Yeah. I think you have a lot of cards that you have a lot of turn 2 plays that enable you to play nourish on turn 3. Like think about how many turn 2 plays you have that really allow you to do that. Like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 cards in your deck that enable you to play this on 3. It also is warrior, so you don't. So if you're passing a couple turns, it's fine.
Well, I imagine they're gonna kind of try to tech double me at some point.
They are. You have your sail, which is not the best. I would probably take Renathal with your pendant at some point. Or actually, you could take Dungar. Dungar's fine to lose. And it's good bait for your Theo. Everyone
It's
thinks
just a hero
Dungar's the
power.
most
It's not like
important
we're
card in
gonna
the
be
deck.
coining anything. We're
Yeah,
probably gonna
yeah.
coin the nourish,
And
honestly, where we're looking at.
Yeah, probably pendant next turn, and then you're gonna coin Nourish, which is fine. Like, just get the Nourish out on 4 is really not that bad, especially if you're like the health doesn't really matter.
Mm.
So pendanting is not that bad. You are getting outramped by the warrior though.
I
which
am
is
getting
kinda funny.
outramped by the warrior deck. Yeah, that is not that has not been lost
No.
on me.
I mean, you pretty much have lethal though. You're close to lethal.
So you would take Dungar?
I think. Yeah, just because you don't have any way to actually go off.
And what's nice is they
Like,
don't
sometimes-
know what we picked.
Yeah. There's something. I do hate when I choose Renathal and I don't have quite enough health to be past full. Let me think about this.
Is it ever solar trail?
Yeah, so
Probably not, right? It's
No,
probably
no.
coin, nourish,
I
into
think
trail.
you just coin. Well, how much mana do you have? You don't have a way to go off, so I would just coin the nourish, but
Okay.
just hero power. I'm say, and then probably you're probably gonna solar trail next turn.
Well, I'd have 9 mana, but it's not okay.
The problem with it is that
It's not like you can
if you
solar
don't,
Nightshade.
well,
Bud.
the problem is if you don't top deck an overflow, sleep, UI or something like that, then you
we're
can't
just
go in.
stuck.
Like
Yeah.
you're just dead in the water, right? And then you might it might be 3 turns until you can go off instead of 2. I've really seen this diamond Dungar before. Let them go.
There you go. It's one of the benefits of watching the stream.
Yeah.
Get to see. That was my attempt at a whale noise.
It's pretty good actually. I liked it.
I appreciate it. Where's our draw? Draw me, dude.
That's good. But now you're allowed to solar trail mix though, because now you can use ENR for draw.
Okay, so we're gonna solar trail mix. Do we use the pendant for anything?
Yeah, pendant for renathal.
Okay. So this is a great like. Let's go get pendant. Let's go filter out renathal from our deck.
And look, you spent all your mana that turn. Wasn't that satisfying?
It's very satisfying.
And now, okay, let me say this. Bud for Aviana. What are we gonna choose?
Aviana.
Aviana. Okay.
Then we're gonna play Dungar.
Yes, and then we're gonna play our
Ysayle.
and then we're gonna draw,
And then we're gonna
draw with ENR.
And we're always gonna find Sleep Under the Stars.
Yeah, or bio or something.
Or bio or something.
Most likely gonna find something.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Wait, how much mana are we at? We're at next turn we're at 12 mana, right? So we spend 8, 9, 10 mana. Yeah. So we have a mana to work with. So I'm debating whether I'm playing Moonbeam first, but I don't think we are for an extra draw.
Got you.
Because
I haven't even considered that honestly. In a lot of times I played this deck like, oh, I could fit this in and then draw an extra card. I catch myself like missing that draw.
I think maybe we wanted to do that. Let's see what we top decked, because
If my opponent plays
to think of-
Okani, I'm ripping the Moonbeam, right? Like I'm ripping the Moonbeam to see if I can stick the Bud and then choose what to do from there.
No, you just play into the Okani with the Bud.
Oh, because I just play Renathal. Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean, they never choose. I guess I don't know. I don't really know. Oh, wow, lethal.
We're good, okay.
Nice.
So we're discovering Aviana.
And then you play all your cards except for Renathal, all your minion guys. And then you can do whatever the fuck you want. The easiest thing to do, I think, is Moonbeam and then refresh 3 times and then draw with ENR. That's what I would do.
Really? Refresh
lazy.
3 times? So I'm okay. Moonbeam,
first
refresh
Moonbeam,
3 times.
and then you just refresh, and then just draw, because then you always have lethal. Thank you, Inferno.
And I mean, like,
And then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
do whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter because it's just infinite cards.
Because you have all the cards. There we go. We got an easy combo turn.
Easy combo turn. Easy combo turn. Are you good for one more?
Yeah. So I'm thinking we can't afford to play our sleep, really, to be honest. Because I think what we're gonna do is we are probably just going to swipe the Razor Scale. How much burn do they have in their deck? I'm trying to figure it out. Like, are we gonna play around Zeph lethals at all?
Probably not. Like, I don't think we can afford to. They did pick, I think, probably 2 cards for burn. I'm just gonna toss. Am I tossing the Renathal? I'm tossing the Renathal into this, right?
I would play Shattered on Okani first, and then play Finley.
Oh, that's a cute play. I like that.
That makes it so they can't really kill us that easily without removing this, right?
I like that a lot.
With some minions.
We don't have Dungar anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. See, look, that saves us so much damage by doing it that way.
8 Hands from Beyond is a there goes our burst except for UIs.
12. It's not enough, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we can go with tempo, but we don't have swipes left, do we?
No, I think they deleted our swipes.
They did, yeah.
I have 5 cards left in deck. I have 2 UIs, I have ANR, I have Ysayle, and I have either Amir Drasil, Nourish, or Guff. So I think I died.
I think he died, yeah. Got 8 hands.
8 Hands from Beyond.
We did
Bomb
draw
ass
pretty
card, by
terribly
the
that
way.
game. Broken card.
Broken card. I actually do think it's really
You can
good.
play around it.
All right, do you have time for one more, or are we calling it quits on that one?
Bad.
Keep the
Yeah,
swipe.
maybe keep the hostage phase. Yeah, surely it's. You probably could keep Moonbeam too,
Really?
maybe. Unless it's. How confident are we that
It's probably
it's
disco.
Disco Lock? Hmm. Don't hate Moonbeam against Disco. If they're if is everyone playing Blood Trains at your MMR? Because that's what everyone's playing at my MMR is Blood Trains.
I don't think they're playing Blood Treant.
Okay, then I toss Moonbeam and Moonlit then and just keep swipe. Maybe I won't lean that hard into them having a pop off play. Oh, we get to try our Meter Cell out. This is fun. And we got double swipe. This looks good against Disco. Looks very, very. Oh, okay. This looks like lethal against Disco.
There we go. That's fine because it's a pretty common
So-
matchup. I think this is one of the weaker matchups. Like this is one of the reasons why you don't see this deck popping around a bunch.
So this, like, yeah. I just hero power that. I would hero power the minion actually.
Right? We hit the
And
minion.
you can swipe.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
setting up
I'd hit
we're
it.
setting up a swipe clear if we can.
Yeah. I don't, we might end up ramping with our gift next turn if they don't play anything. But we're fine actually with swiping the 1/3, I think. Oh yeah, we're definitely fine with swiping this board here now.
So we are swiping the Malk Imp to remove it, and then we'll probably follow up with
Yeah.
a second swipe at some point.
We're swipe swiping for sure.
Okay.
We're gonna swipe that imp, and then we're probably gonna swipe the Walking Dead the following turn.
And if we need to, we'll swipe
Because
again.
Whispers is like probably the most threatening thing against you, right? And they only have 2 of them. Like most people don't play more than 2. They don't play like any other board buffs. And they're playing right into this swipe. Like look how perfect this swipe is here.
We just no second board buff is what we're hoping for. All right,
Ooh,
probably
okay,
murder
well,
the
we're
knight,
swiping.
right?
We're swiping the knight. Yeah, we don't care about the. We care much more about Kung the Knight than the Walking Dead. And in consideration to play, like you instantly play that. I would have probably played the gift
You want to do the
swipe.
gift one because we can solar the other one more
Because-
easily. That's fair enough.
Exactly, and also you can potentially swipe and play 2-mana ramp.
Okay.
But I mean, next turn we're probably just jamming the meter cell. Actually, I think the meter cell seems like a good play to me. Ooh, never mind. Now what? Actually, I like ramp. Maybe ramping's better. Or do we ever nourish here?
You feel
'Cause-
good about nourish and
Well,
then hero power?
I feel great about it to be honest. Maybe it is a meter cell. It might just be a meter cell
It
here.
gives me tempo
Let's try a
and
meter
it
cell.
gets me a little bit deeper into the deck.
Yeah, I think I like a meter cell, and it gives you armor too. And we want to find a solar. That's kind of what ends it, right? Or another swipe. Okay, we got invigorate.
Well, we
which
used
is
both our swipes,
could-
so it's going to have to be
3, 6, 9, 12.
we can trade off
So the
something.
question is, they have no more whispers, so we know kind of roughly how much damage they're going to have. The reason that the meter cell is good against Disco too is that you get a minion, which
That's a
play.
good, awesome merchant for us. I'm very
It
happy
is.
with that.
It's not such an awesome fact that we're dying though.
I think we have a clear
Okay.
here, right? Where we have something. We get Mouth's gift. We swipe. We can.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I like it. We clear most things with this play. We swipe, 3, 4,
Because this lets us trade.
and then yeah, and then we probably moonbeam. Wait, what are we at though if we play invigorate instead? We have to moonbeam, right? Otherwise we're just dead. 3, 6. Yeah,
I'm
we're
pretty
gonna have
sure
to
we're just
moonbeam
dead
off
if we
of
don't
V1. I think so too. This is a rough. We kind of need to. We need to find bio here, but it's nice is that we can invigorate and then we can draw,
Right.
refresh. No, I still like a meter cell. Meter cell is a good card. I can't tell if it's too late though, because we did play it on 5, and playing against 5 does
Played
feel
on
very
5.
slow, doesn't it?
Would overgrowth put us in a better position?
We could very much well
We might
be
die.
dead here though.
We don't die. We do
We'll
die.
say that we did die. Unfortunately,
Is Dungar Druid unplayable?
it's not a great metaphor. I will say it was much better in previous expansion.
And I did throw a game.
I don't.
T, give us a quick little TLDR. I think you said fill out mana on your curves. So you want to fill out the mana on your curves. So use all your mana. So don't do what I did and pick like the 3 mana swipe when we can use the 4 mana swipe on the 4 mana turn.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ultimately, yeah. I mean, I think everything. I mean, I think what we did learn a lot is like the early game of the deck
yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
getting to the combo. I think talking about the combo is a little bit difficult because every time it's so different. And I think just learning it comes from reps. Like there's a reason I played so many games of it is because like every time the combo's a little bit different and you get yourself into new scenarios that, you know, I might not even seen yet because there's a lot of orderings, and ultimately though, it's all about time management because the two things I look for is A, don't run out of mana, B, try not to burn cards if you can. Sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah.
But you got to be aware that you really only have a minute and a half to do it, so you're gonna have to go fast, especially if you don't have all your pieces there all pretty. You're gonna have to build your board, and like you have to manage your board space, build your board. There's a lot of things to remember during the combo turn that are just come with practice.
And that is one thing I
But
will
as
say.
for the
like,
early game,
just sort of playing on my own, just sort of letting Lizard Brain go, like kind of like the part that plays Barnes, you do learn.
yeah,
You can kind of feel, okay, I need mana now. Oh, I need this now, and that part kind of gets turned off because like I don't want to on a snap judgment play the wrong thing because Lizard Brain told me to, and it's just like, no, dude, if you thought for 2 seconds, it was this here. So I'm thinking while I'm trying to play cards, which is never a good idea.
yeah. And I think, yeah, I mean, like, it's obviously like, I remember when I was learning the deck, a lot of people were like, wow, how did you make this such an obvious misplay? Like, and it's because like you're thinking many plays ahead. Like you have a general consensus. I'm not thinking too hard about my plays, because I'm trying to. A lot of time when I was learning, I was trying to figure out basically what the best route was to do. And a lot of times I just try things, right? I'm like, I try this ordering, I try this, and I find out what I like. And eventually you kind of find little patterns that you kind of string together
just feel it
as you
out,
go.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. And that deck,
But-
honestly, that usually takes like 20 games with the deck. You've done thousands with this deck, literally like over 1,000, and you're still not done finding
yeah.
it. So, worth
Yeah,
making note.
it's-
Thank you
it's
for
cool
your
deck.
time. Thank you for coming on. If you don't know who kvlt is yet, if you don't know who Colt is yet, please make sure you follow them on Twitch. I'll make sure your stream is in the description. Any sign off before I go?
I don't know. I wasn't ready for a sign off, but I don't know. Just have fun with it.
I thank you for coming
Oh,
on.
no.
I'm sorry the gameplay portion was so well. I was frustrated during the gameplay portion, but that's not your fault. It's because I'm stupid. But also, I would love to have you back on for Hostage Mage sometime. I think that could be a lot of fun. And I play that a little bit better and a little bit more intuitively. That'd be a little bit more
Much
fun.
easier deck to co-op as well.
An easier deck to co-op. We have infinite time to take our opponents
We have more
hostage.
time.
Thank you for coming
Exactly,
on KVLT.
yeah.
And if you enjoy this content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on my YouTube channel. All right. That is not going to be
My pet.
that is not going to be an easy edit. All right. KVLT, I'm going to leave kCIfOAo. Anything you want to say to chat before you go?
How playable is Dungar? It's unplayable.